In a move described by analysts as quite unusual, former President Donald Trump's recent announcement of a sweeping trade deal with the European Union has set off alarm bells across both diplomatic and economic sectors. While the deal has been promoted by Trump's team as a triumph of leadership, the fine print tells a different story. At the heart of this agreement lies an aggressive centralization of trade oversight, placing extraordinary authority in the hands of a few unelected bureaucrats, many of whom answer directly to the executive branch. Critics argue that this approach echoes the very kind of big government overreach that Trump's base once railed against. The agreement seems less about mutual prosperity and more about creating leverage for Trump's political and corporate allies, while silencing key EU regulators. Ironically, while Trump touts the deal as a step toward fairness, it introduces massive restrictions on small business imports, funneling most of the benefits toward large American and European conglomerates. Is this economic nationalism, or just another mechanism to extend elite control over global markets? Politically, this deal comes at a precarious time. Trump's campaign has been attempting to rebrand him as a global negotiator, someone who can restore America's dominance on the world stage. But many foreign policy veterans see the EU trade pact as a diplomatic smokescreen, a move designed less to open trade and more to box in future administrations under rigid Trump-era frameworks. Diplomatic tensions are already rising, with France and Germany quietly pushing back on some of the more opaque enforcement mechanisms buried in the agreement's back pages. Even within conservative circles, libertarian voices have grown louder, accusing Trump of betraying free market values. The irony couldn't be starker. The self-proclaimed anti-establishment outsider is now seen crafting deals in backrooms, far from public scrutiny, with clauses that look eerily similar to globalist policies he once condemned. The concern isn't just what the deal does now. It's the long-term precedent it sets for top-down economic governance through executive fiat. Socially, the reaction has been divisive and explosive. Small business advocacy groups across the US and parts of Europe are sounding alarms, warning that the deal gives unfair advantage to multinational corporations, while workers' rights groups argue that the agreement opens loopholes for deregulated labor conditions under the guise of flexibility. Online, the backlash has been swift. Hashtags like #EUTrumpControl and #GlobalEliteStrikeAgain are trending, especially among younger progressive and libertarian influencers. For a man who once claimed to be the champion of Main Street over Wall Street, Trump's latest trade move seems to contradict nearly every pillar of his 2016 populist message. What's more, legal scholars are warning that the way this deal was negotiated, largely bypassing Congress, could create dangerous constitutional gray areas that future presidents may exploit. As the country inches closer to another volatile election season, Trump's EU trade agreement may be less about economic benefit and more about cementing a legacy of top-heavy power disguised as populist triumph.